Hello and a very good evening. Welcome to ELITETV. You're watching Open Debate in English. I'm Chongtham Amrita and today we bring you the topic, their terrorists versus our terrorists. Before we start, first of all, I will offer my heartfelt condolences to the 26 victims of the deadly terrorist attack on 22 April 2025 in Pahalgam, Jammu and Kashmir. And I also wish a speedy recovery to all those who have been injured at this terrorist attack. But the thing is, this Pahalgam terrorist attack has once again exposed a very glaring differences in how the nation, especially the central government, treats or reacts to terrorism, depending on where it occurs from. Following the Pahalgam attack, the central government swiftly took drastic actions that may even escalate into an all-out war with Pakistan. In contrast, in November 2024, just last year, when 3 women and 3 small children were brutally murdered while in captivity in Jiribam by Kuki terrorists who have been trained, who have been armed and inspired by forces within Myanmar, which is from across the eastern border, there was barely a whimper of any sort of condemnation from neither central leaders, neither Bollywood celebrities, not even a mere mention in the national media. And this is not an isolated case. We have seen countless such instances when it comes to any terrorist act that is occurring in the northeast. We see no much mention in the national media. And this is why much of the issues have been covered up and neglected from the central government all this time. And this is what the people of the northeast, the people of Manipur also perceive it as. This brings us to some very urgent and uncomfortable questions. The first question is, the terrorists who infiltrate India from the western border, especially those terrorizing from Pakistan, that is, and into the Kashmir, are they more dangerous than the narco-terrorists who are entering into the country from across the eastern border? Why is there such a difference in the treatment and the response from the government when it comes to these forms of terrorism? Are they different? The question is there a separate definition of terrorism when it happens from the western border and from the eastern border? This is the first question that we will discuss today. And secondly, do the lives of citizens in Kashmir matter more than the lives of the citizens in Manipur? We will discuss these questions today. Now, before we dive in, let's take a moment to first welcome our speakers for tonight. Our first speaker for tonight is renowned socio-political commentator Pabung P. Sonamani. Pabung, welcome to Open Debate.
Oh, very kind of you, Amrita, for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you. Our second speaker for tonight is Oja Advocate M. Korouhanba, Executive Director for LHRM. Oja, welcome to Open Debate.
Well, thank you for inviting me, Amrita.
Thank you very much. And our third speaker for today is joining us from Taiwan, Oja Dr. N.J. Shantikumar, Professor of English, Hongkuo, Delin University. Oja, welcome to Open Debate.
Thank you, Amrita, for having me.
It's so good to have all of you here, and let us start with this program right away. I'll start first with Pabung Sonamani. Pabung, the question that I'd like to raise to you is that there should be a zero tolerance regarding terrorism, and this has been announced by the Prime Minister, the current Prime Minister in 2014 as well, that there have been many terrorist attacks in Kashmir the past many years. And this is announced repeatedly that there is zero tolerance towards any form of terrorism. Now, the first question is, has the definition of terrorism changed? Then why is there a special attention whenever it happens in Kashmir from the western border or maybe from Pakistan, and there is a different treatment, not just different treatment, but rather a complete neglect when it comes to the kind of terrorism that is happening in Northeast, that is also by infiltrators from across the border. Pabung, your thoughts on this matter?
Amrita, good evening to you and to your ELITETV's entire establishment and my 2 colleagues and the whole world who are watching. I bow my head to them. Amrita, India is a very big country. It's a subcontinent, about 142 crores people. We live together. It's a big country. But somehow or other, Northeast and especially the Manipur, this has been observed and this has been seen very crystal clearly that the government of India has totally ignored. Example, in the last almost 2 years, how the Manipur, innocent Manipurese people who have not picked up gun and who have not contravened any kinds of the Indian constitutions and the laws, they have been targeted and they have been punished, they have been got killed, and who were unprepared from another group, this Chin Kukijo terrorists, who are aspiring that who want to, they split the Manipur into pieces. Government of India fully knows. The government of India deliberately they have interfered lately. So this is another factor. This is a very, very conspicuous, and this is a very, very overt things happening. Still, the government of India, it seems that divide and rule policy is very fond of in India. For example, when you cite an example like Nagaland, Nagaland was a small one district from Assam, Naga Hills to Ensang area, from a very, very skeleton populations comparison to other states. The district populations now elevated to the state. Now they are in the doorstep of the achieving of the independency on the segregating from the mainland India. Apparently, I said. But when a citizen, rightful citizens, which was the Manipur was a different nation, an independent nation like India, India government knowing fully, seeing very beautifully, and they have not interfered and they have not come forward and try to solve this issue. They have given a free rope and the hand and to do what these other elements, the Chin Kukijo, these illegal immigrants, their wish, government of India, as if that she is going to fulfill it. Because they have contravened the government of India's and the international law. No human being can be restricted. No state, any citizen can be restricted and can be debarred from his independent, his movement freely and friendly, as long as he or she doesn't commit any crime. But government of India, as this Chin Kukijo targeted entire community, they wanted to eliminate. Government of India, she has remained silent because silence is consent. That too is so-called today is the mighty country, India. Why this divisive policy by the government of India? But when the Kashmir happened, we are very sorry. Kashmir, Pahalgam, I know, I visited 3-4 times. This is a beautiful, the hilly and the valley areas, a beautiful area. This is a horse riding area. I visited 3-4 times, right from the college onwards, 66 onwards. But when something happened in the Kashmir or in other parts of the country, government of India and the state government is directed to immediately interfere it and to douse the fire. In the case of Manipuris, more than hundreds people, we have been got killed. Now IDPs, more than 60,000 people are there lingering without having any their facilities and amenities, and the children are rotating there, and they're married, a husband and a wife, they cannot sleep together there. They have no proper toilet, no proper food, no proper the stay to spend night. That's such conditions. Still, government of India has not come forward to douse the fire, because apparently government of India is pushing this Chin Kukijo terrorists. You go ahead, we close our eyes because silence is consent. On the other hand, National Highway National 2 and National 37 and the National Highway Imphal to the Mode, this has been completely cut off. Our human rights that have been given the rights 19(1)A, B, C in the Indian constitutions and the article, our freedom of movements, freedom of speech, freedom of rights, freedom of worship even has been curtailed. But India government claims that this is the biggest democracy and democratic country in the world. India government, you have made us to, you have dashed us into against our will to become an anti-Indian now. We don't have any trust and we will not have any trust because of your divisive policies in their government. How we people, we are suffering it, you know it, within the 1560s, the kilometers that we have been confined. We cannot breathe properly, we cannot talk properly, we cannot worship our gods, our forefathers, right from 14,000 onwards, that were Kabru, that our so many other jungle, that our gods and goddess we worship, which nobody can deviate it. This is a fundamental right. But you, India government, you have not interfered. You have deprived us to worship our god and goddess. You have snatched away the rights, and you are propping up to another fraction who are the Chinkukijo, who are the illegal immigrants. You said, the Home Minister, that the most of the cookies are the illegal immigrants. You agreed, Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah? What happened today? You closed your eyes. You wanted to say perhaps all Manipuris are allowed to eliminate with your blessing, perhaps. Bharat Sarkar, we have no respect. And we consider that you are not at all our guardian. And why should he? And why should he? You have put us in such an embarrassing position, our human rights, and no rights have been given, completely deprived with your blessing. So, to be very frank, in the first round, I say that we have no trust, no respect, no confidence on the India government, and we feel ashamed of saying that we are a part and parcel of the Indian Union, that the Manipur citizens are within the Indian Union. We are very disgraced. We are really displeased. We are unhappy to claim that we are an Indian. This is the first round that I want to submit to you.
Oja Papung, that's a very good point. You mentioned a very interesting point, that silence is consent, and I think the consent that is given regarding in this context is to the Kuki narco-terrorists who have infiltrated this country illegally and also have started to wage war across the people, especially to the indigenous people of Manipur, and also started to demand a separate administration to be carved out from the state of Manipur. I think that itself is a consent given by the central government by being silent towards their acts all these 2 years. Now, on this point, I would like Oja Korouhanba to respond to the remarks given by Pabung Sonamani, and also I would like to know from you, Oja, as an executive director for the LHRM as well. Do you think that there should be a national policy when it comes to any acts of terrorism, regardless of ethnicity, regardless of religion? Do you think that India should have a national policy that treats any form of terrorist acts as with the same swift response as it does in any other forms of terrorism, without any differential treatment? Oja Korouhanba, please give us your thoughts.
Yeah. As per the policy of the India, we have many legislation which was passed in the parliament, like the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. This is one of the legislation enacted in parliament for prevention of terrorist act in our nation, in our country. And then number 2, TADA.
Yes.
TADA Act also was passed in the parliament for prevention of terrorist act in our state and in our country. And thirdly, Armed Forces Special Power Act. It is one of the draconian rule and draconian legislation framed in the parliament and enacted by the parliament for prevention of terrorist act in the country. Likewise, many other laws may be enacted in the parliament to prevent the terrorist act in our country, but especially in northeastern part of India, they have been imposing Armed Forces Special Power Act, and as well as in Jammu and Kashmir also, they have been imposing this legislation and law in the Jammu and Kashmir. This is another matter, but right now we have the issue after having this terrorist attack on April 22, 2025. 5 armed militants attack in the village of Pahalgam. This is in the Anantnag district, and 26 terrorists killed. Tourists killed and 20 injuries. This is the terrorist act so by the unlawful activities activist group, that is the Lashkar-e-Toiba, and its subsidiary force, that is a TRM.
Yes.
The resistance force.
Front.
They are one of the very terrorist group in the Jammu and Kashmir. They are operating since the last many years, and they have been acting many terrorist acts in India. And then especially on this event, we have to see that Indian response in the terrorist act in Pahalgam, and Indian response in the terrorist act in our state Manipur. This is the what we are discussing about the today's topic. That is the their terrorists versus our terrorists. This is a wonderful topic you made it for discussion. And then Indian response, what I want to explain about the Indian response in the terrorist act in connection with this April Pahalgam terrorist attack.
Sure.
Okay. Firstly, the suspended the Indian Indus Water Treaty.
Yes.
Indian government has been taking a quick and rapid response to the terrorist act just after the attack was done in the month of April, that is the last 22. And India government suspended the Indus Water Treaty quickly and expelled Pakistani diplomats from India. And then close border with Pakistan. All the border areas was sealed and closed. There's no any traffic between India and Pakistan.
Right.
Quickly, they have been responding to the opposite side. Then conducted extensive military operations in Jammu and Kashmir and detaining approximately 500 individuals and demolishing homes linked to suspected militants. They are doing hardship action against the terrorists.
Right.
And then from the side of Pakistan also, they have been responding quickly against the government of Indian action. There is a suspended the Simla agreement, one agreement which was made between India and Pakistan. This is called the Simla agreement, was suspended by the Pakistan government, and that trade with India and close its airspace to Indian flights. All the flights, those are flying to through Pakistan Airways. This was stopped. So such type of quick response and actions has been taken up by the government of India, and on other counterpart, Pakistan also doing like this. This is a very interested event which the government of India has taken very seriously in this matter. On the other hand, we have to see their terrorists and our terrorists. In the part of our say Indian northeastern part of India, we have been facing lots of terror acts since many years. And especially from the eruption of this violence, then it started from the 3rd May 2023. As we know, many terrorist acts and many unlawful activities has been occurring in our area. That is, as our brother Sonamani said, this is the silent is concerned. Right. Government of India is still silent. They are looking as the spectator. They are not acting in this part to prevent or protect the lives of innocent people in our area, especially in the northern part of India. And not only this one, many terror acts, as you mentioned, Amrita, you have mentioned many incidents, terrorist incidents happening in our state during this violence, and many innocent, even the 7-8 months old children also was being killed.
Very brutally, in fact.
Yeah, like this. This is many others innocent people have been gunned down by the terrorists in our region.
Right.
But the government of India is not declared all are the terrorist group under UAP, Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. Minister of Home Affairs should declare. We have also demand to declare the Kuki militants as a terrorist under this Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. Without this notification, they are not treated as terrorist organization. So the government of India or the armed forces or any other law enforcement agency could not do any action against them. So they are not the terrorists. If the government is not declared as terrorists, the government could not do anything against the organization. So government of India permits such type of terrorist organization as the lawful terrorist organization, just like a new term may be coined in this situation. So what I want to conclude for the first round of this discussion, and then in Indian mandate or Indian mindset towards the Manipur terrorists, they are thinking terrorists are their friends.
Yes, indeed.
This incident happening in our state, Manipur, and they are thinking only the person, those who are coming from the Pakistani or other, say Bangladeshi or any other parts of the Indian mainland Indians, or say Naxalite or any other, they may be considered as terrorists by the government of India. In Manipur, there is no any law imposing to prevent or to protect the civilian in our state Manipur. So we are very sorry to say about the distinction between Indian people and Northeastern people. So let me conclude here for the first round, and I will share in the next round.
Yes, indeed, Oja. Thank you for your points. I'll come back to you in a second round. Indeed, Oja, you raised a very crucial points regarding this discussion, and I will take that to our third speaker now, to Oja Shantikumar. Oja Shantikumar, we have known from Oja Korouhanba and also agreeing with Pabung Sonamani's stance regarding how the silence of the central government is also the same as giving consent to some particular groups of terrorists who carry out terrorist activities. Now, on that note, Oja Shantikumar, the thing is, the difference between those carrying out terrorist attacks in Kashmir and those carrying out terrorist attacks in Manipur, there is just one key distinction, which is that both are demanding separation. One is demanding separation of Kashmir from the Indian Union, and one, who is especially the Kuki terrorists, are demanding a separate administration from the state of Manipur, which is not necessarily breaking up of India. They still want to remain in India, but they want to carve out a separate state that they will self-administer from the state of Manipur. Do you think that this key distinction is the reason behind the differential treatment from the central government? Because bottom line is, terrorist activity is the same. There in Kashmir, 26 unfortunate lives have been taken by terrorists. In Manipur, 260 lives have been taken by terrorists, which is 10 times more, given in the recent context itself. Do you think that carving out a separate administration, some sort of separation from a state, is somehow smaller in scale as compared to carving out a complete state from the Indian Union? Is this the reason behind the differential treatment? Oja Shantikumar, your thoughts?
First of all, good evening once more. Sonamani, and Korouhanba, and Amrita, and all the viewers in Manipur, in India, and around the world. That's a good question, Amrita. Actually, terrorists have to be defined equally. It doesn't matter it's a small group, or it doesn't matter it's a big group, or it doesn't matter it belongs to Manipur in the east, or it belongs to the west, or to the far western, European countries. It has no distinction, actually.
Right.
Because why we call terrorists as terrorists? Because they terrorize not those people in the power, but those civilians. They terrorize these innocent people. They kill, they torture, they kidnap, they nab, they abduct these civilians, and they kill, they torture in different ways. That's why we call them terrorists. But of course, terrorists can be defined in different terms by different people. But one common truth is that terrorists are equal everywhere. They terrorize innocent people. My question is, I'm very sorry for those victims and for their families, because my deep condolence to their families and relatives and parents. But here, I would like to put some points why Indian government makes it so different. I mean, they react very differently to the terrorist groups, terrorizing innocent people, especially the Meitei. Not only Meitei, but other communities, the Naga communities also, they have started the Bukizo terrorist group. They terrorize them, they torture them, they beat them, and mostly our Meitei people. You see here, but this killing, the incident happened in Belgaum and in Manipur. Manipur killing is even even worse. Why? Because they kidnapped, they nabbed, they abducted these innocent children and innocent women and the civilians, and they torture, they rape, and they murder, and they kill finally. Can Indian government imagine how scared they live their last moments? Does the Indian government ever thought about these feelings? No. Compared to the incident happened in Pahalgam, in Kashmir, and in Manipur, actually it's very different, because people, those tourist people, of course, I'm very sorry for them, for their lives, but they died immediately, most of them. They didn't suffer much. But whereas in Manipur, those children, those civilians, they were kept for days, torture, rape, and use blunt objects to kill them, or shoot, or cut by knives in front of their children, or in front of the parents or the mothers. This is very, very terrible. So why India government sees differently these two groups of terrorists or militants, whatever people like to call? I think some of the reasons is, while India consider those militants or terrorists, who killed these 26 people and injured more than 20 people in Kashmir, because there is no look-west policy. Like India has look-east policy and act-east policy, India doesn't have any that kind of policy in the West, especially in Pakistan or Afghanistan, that side. Very little. So India considers Pakistan as the unavoidable enemy of India.
Okay.
But on the other hand, India considers Myanmar as a friendly nation. And even though, those India supports those rebel groups, those separatists from the Myanmar government, India likes to go with them. They like to do business. That's why we have this look its policy, act its policy, and that's why they support these PDFs, these Jin rebels, and these Pukizo separatist terrorists. That's why India doesn't do anything against these terrorists, even though India could see very clearly. You know, in this digital age, all these things can be seen in a moment.
Right.
And India has uncountable numbers of spies, you know, who are looking. They know everything. But India government ignore, as Damo Sonamani just mentioned,
Right.
ignore the people of the north, especially the Manipur people, and they play the divide and rule policy by dividing cookies and the Nagas and the cookies and the Nagas. And make it, of course, India tries so hard to divide these communities, and then they like to rule Manipur. And this is, I would say, very, very naive process, naive action. You know, they should try to find out some effective ways. If they like to destroy the armed groups from Manipur, maybe NSN, IM, or maybe you know, Delhi armed groups, or any groups, any armed groups they like to root out, they have to look out for something else. Not using another communities and let them fight and kill,
Right.
which hurt the civilians so much. That's why no Manipuris can trust Indian government, as Damod Sonamani just mentioned. That's why we have no confidence, we have no trust, we don't trust Indian government anymore. But if India likes to keep Manipur as one of the states in India, the India needs to change their perceptions, how they look to the Manipuris, how they look to the Northeast. Otherwise, Manipur or the Northeast may be separated in the near future. This is my, I would say, kind of warning to the Indian government. So India needs to consider very seriously, very deeply their foreign policies and also their internal policies, how to close this conflict instead of dividing and ruling and let the communities fight each other and hating, which make hate India, which makes Manipurese people or North people anti-Indians. So India needs to consider seriously and change their internal external policy. Amrita, I will give this my first round.
Yes, indeed, Oja, you have given really good points regarding India's relation with Myanmar is limiting its actions towards those causing such terrorist attacks to the people of Manipur. I'll take that question to Pabung Sonamani. Pabung, do you also agree with Oja Shantikumar's statement saying that India wants to maintain some trade relations with Myanmar and there is no history of enmity between Myanmar and India? And also, India does support some of the rebel groups who are also fighting against the military junta. Do you think that this could be the reason why the cookie terrorists are being supported sort of by the Indian government? But the thing is that ultimately terrorist acts are all the same, as Oja Shantikumar has highlighted. So there should be no distinction between the response. But what about that? Oja Pabung Sonamani, I would like to hear your thoughts.
Amrita, I fully endorse whatever the statement and what the expressions being expressed by my two colleagues. I fully endorse it. I feel ashamed of saying that I am an Indian. As if we are a slave to this, the government of Indians people. I said government of Indians people, since I feel myself that I am not an Indian because of their unbecoming and because of their despicable, because of their disintegrations, and because of their totally ignoring of the Manipurese people. I would like to ask the Indian government, what offense we committed? We are law-abiding people. Whenever the governments or the authority ask anything, for example, you come and surrender the arms and ammunitions by tomorrow or by the after tomorrow. So without hesitations, without delay even a day, all Manipuris who were defending for this, the Manipur nation, I say that Manipur nation, not Manipur state, I'm emboldened enough to say that it is not the Manipur state now, it's a Manipur nation. Because India government doesn't consider that the Manipur is a part and parcel of India. But she should not forget that we are an independent country before the 1949. Before merging to the India, we were forced and we are coerced to join in the Indian mainland. So this is another very sad story. Now the behavior is absolutely unbecoming, and this is a very biased attitude. If the India government, if she wished that the Manipur, this unfortunate incident could be solved within a couple of hours, within 1 hour. But now in this regard, the government of India is propping up behind the scene. Government of India, she knows fully that these Chin cookie terrorist people and India government, the propping up and the supporting the Mr. Laldoma and Mr. Joram Tanga and one MP provided, Mr. Mandlinga or somebody that from the recent the Rajya Sabha MP from the Mizoram was deputed with the approval of the government. Yes, he was deputed to negotiate with the Burmese or Myanmaris, some Chin Cookie Joe people to merge in India and so on, so many things. Okay, this is up to this extent, it's quite tolerable.
Okay.
But why the government of India close eyes and given a free hand to Laldoma and to the Joram Tanga, and on the other side and on the other hand, and the entire Manipurese people that you put us in a very embarrassing position. We cannot breathe properly, we cannot eat properly, we cannot sleep properly. Our independence, our freedom of rights and the freedom of our movement, freedom of worship, completely you have seized, government of India. So how can I say that I am an Indian? I am an anti-Indian because you force us to speak in this such manner. Kashmir incident, my friends, both friends, they have very highly, they brought out that how this unfortunate incident had taken place. India government immediately jumped. Okay, we also support that either by terrorists or the Pakistanis, the planted by the Pakistan government and they go and kill. So India government immediately jumped and Indian armed forces immediately taken, a very befitting reply and the serious effort they made it. We appreciate. But why there is a two rule? Manipur is more than 200 people got killed by these terrorist people. Before gunned down that they are being tortured, they are being burned, they are being raped, then their houses were burned into ashes, their fundamental rights is completely seized, they were driven out, they are forced to leave, their properties, everything they looted, and that they have misused it, their fundamental rights were totally, they have seized by India government. By India government, because you have supported, and you are supporting till now. Now the questions comes, why you have done like this, India government? What do you think the entire Manipuri people in the Manipur? And in this regard, I may be allowed by a few seconds to mention that our Naga brothers and other hill tribes people, I had been cautioning it more than 20, 30 times in my many occasions, getting privileged through your media, through your channel, that this is not targeting Manipuris alone. This is going to have an adverse impact on all those tribal people, Nanchin, Kuki, Jo. You cannot refrain away. You have to come forward it. Belatedly, they have realized it. Oh yes, this was the target of not only the Manipuris, all the Manipur, other citizens living in the hilly areas, these Tangkul people, Rongmei people, Jalian people, Mao people, these people, that people. They did not have any such kind of a notion that they might face one day, but today they are suffering it. So this is targeted between not only Meitei community alone, particularly Meitei community, then the fire has been engulfed to the other communities too. But Bharat Sarkar, you remain silent. And your silence itself is that you are encouraging them because of your some interest. Does it mean that you're, for your personal benefit, for your achievement, that you wanted to see that Manipuris are being butchered, like in the Durga Puja, that were the four-footed animal, maybe the buffaloes or maybe the goats or anything, someone has to be butchered that day. So same thing that you treat us. No, Amrita, we have many things to say. We are not happy on Indian government. Till now, government of India, she keeps silent. And the Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, when this unfortunate incident happened in the Pelgam, even from abroad, he cannot sleep, and he has to direct, and he has to discuss online that along with their cabinet colleagues and armed forces, etc. Why the Manipur? Why the government of India's Prime Minister? Mr. Modi is not the Prime Minister of India. Mr. Amit Shah is not the Home Minister of Manipur. They're the Home Minister of India, and for other countries they can call that they are the Indian Prime Minister and Indian Home Minister, because they have totally ignored, they have totally sidelined, because they have allowed these Chin Cookie Joe terrorist people to terrorize and to kill the innocent people and in front of their eyes and in front of with the covered their permission apparently. So this is a highly objectionable. But keep in mind, India government, you cannot totally eradicate the Manipuris. We will, till our last breath, we'll fight it. So this is a very, very, in nutshell, I say that I feel ashamed of saying that I am an Indian. Now I am an anti-Indian because I am being forced to behave in a very, very different way because of the shabby and the ill treatment and different treatment. Then they have not allowed us to claim even that we are an Indian. Had said for that, Manipuris are also an Indian and the law-abiding people of the Indian Constitution, as we did and as we do now, then they would have said that they would have come immediately. They would have solved it. It is nothing rather than their blessing to the Chin Cookie Joe. They have not withdrawn the arms and ammunition, illegal more than 3,000-4,000 arms ammunition. They have allowed them to possess. Even they have refuted. Even they have challenged. They have thrown out the arms and they have thrown out. They have chased out the armed personnel who were escorting on the May 8 by our His Excellency Governor. He attempted once to make it through the National Highway 2 along with the government vehicle. Very unfortunate. You have more than lakhs of the armies. What they're doing it? Because आपके इशारा के बिना पत्ता भी नहीं हिलते हैं, मोदी जी and Mr. Amit Shah. हम सब जानते हैं, हम सोचते हैं, हम जानते हैं, आपके नियत के ऊपर खोट है. There is always a doubtful on your behavior, on your savvy treatment. This is not good Bharat Sarkar. You treat us as an Indian. Remember, we were a free nation. You force us to join with you against our will because you are a mighty country. You have kidnapped our king, Bodhichandra, in Shillong. You force him to join in Shillong. Against his will, 7-8 days, you have cut off the water pipe line, you have cut off the electricity, you have put him, unfortunately, like a prisoner. You have not allowed him to move, even to go to Das Bhavan from Shillong Red Lane to the Shillong Das Bhavan is hardly 2 to 3 minutes by vehicle. He has not been allowed to say a word. You have forced him to sign the treaty that the Manipur has merged with India. This kind of a crime you have committed. This is what my forefathers have stated, and this is a factual fact. You cannot deny it. From your obnoxious behavior, from your unpleasant behavior, because of your divide and rule policy behavior. To be very frank, Amrita, we are not happy on the India government. Okay. Now I feel, and we feel that we all Manipurese people, that we are no more as an Indian. We used to worship the India government. We worship the Indian constitutions. We really admire the India government. But the way that this savvy treatment since last 2 years, India government, she has propped up, because she has given so much importance to the Mizoram Chief Minister and to that MP and even the Mr. Laldoma, what he stated in America with the assistance of the American Baptist Church Council, that he has targeted even the government of India. But the Indian government, you remain silent, and you have here proclaimed up spy again. Because we people, we are law-abiding people. And we are harmless people. And those, the criminal people, Chin, Cookie, Joe, 5-6 lakhs people, and the suspension operation, this the criminal people, arms, where their arms, more than 3,000 arms, where they have gone Bharat Sarkar. You have not asked them to come and surrender that arms. You have allowed them rather freely and to act according to their choice. But their target is the innocent people, the Manipur people. This the international people should keep an eye and should intervene. Even the United Nations should intervene now at this juncture. Why only unfortunate incident that about 7-8 people or 20 people got killed in the Pahalgam? Very sorry for that. We also lost more than 200 peoples. And still now about the 60,000 people are directly or indirectly in the captive of the Manipur Sarkar because they have no house, because they have no place, they have no money, they have no life at all. Is this called an Indian? Is the India, can you say that you are not biased, that you don't discriminate, that the color, you don't discriminate about the religions? No, Bharat Sarkar. I say in the one word, Bharat Sarkar, your dubious policy not acceptable. But keep in mind, God is watching and the whole international people are watching it. So India government, you may be good in your own state, in your India, but not in Manipur. You have completely put us in the well, but we are coming up and we'll fight it out. So this is my submission to you.
Okay.
We are unhappy with the government of India, and we have heard anything to say. We should survive by ourselves. We should try to possess arms for our own self-defense. Indian government shall not have and should not have any say to say, and since we are independent, to act for for my safety of my life.
Yes.
This is what I submit to you. Thank you,
Yes,
Amrita,
indeed.
and to my friends.
Very good point, Pabong. Now, moving on to Korouhanba, I would like to shift this attention to the so-called, within quotations, our terrorists, the narco-terrorists who are waging this proxy war in Manipur and are also the primary reasons why 260 people have been killed brutally, many others missing, and 60,000 plus languishing in relief camps, unable to return back to their homes. They are the ones who have caused this. Now, just yesterday, the Kukizo community held a candlelight vigil. They held a small rally. They showed their solidarity to the Pahalgam victims, and also they condemned terrorist acts, which is kind of funny because the reason that Manipur is in right now is because of their actions and their attacks, unannounced attacks on civilian population of Manipur, and now they are doing such a candlelight vigil to show solidarity to the victims. And also let us all remember, in the earlier independence days or the republic days, these groups have also made it a point to raise the Indian flag, even though some of the flags were even upside down, as if they don't know which is the way up. And they have also sung some national anthems, but with very different words, in fact. That only highlights that they are new to this country and they have not really learned the ways of the country, including the national flag or the national anthem. And just yesterday, they held out this candlelight vigil to show solidarity. Do you see this? There is a very stark contrast. Are they saying that they are different from those terrorists? But to be honest, what the history will tell us and what history will show them is that they're the ones who have caused this crisis in Manipur, which is now unsolved even after 2 years. Your take on that, Korouhanba, how do you interpret that?
Yeah, they've been giving solidarity to such incidents in the last many occasions we have been experiencing. Around more than 260 people, innocent people, have been gunned down and killed brutally by the terrorists in our state Manipur since last 2 years. And not only this occasion and incidents happening in our state, many human rights violations are happening in our state Manipur since the last 2 years. Two national highways, this is very important highways approaching to national this is connecting to the national highways to import and export the essential commodities through these two highways. This was also being restricted by the militants, terrorists in this area. But the government of India is not taking up any action against them. So one of the major human rights violations happening in our state Manipur. Then, as per your question, what I'm going to explain about the attitude and about the expression from the side of militants, those who are doing terrorist act in the hilly areas and attacking to the innocent people, just like Meiteis, and not only the Meitei communities, but also other communities also. They have been starting killing brutally in then terrorizing by burning down all the houses. As you know, that many Tangkol villages and Jalerong villages have been burned down by the militants. In this case, they are trying to prove themselves innocent by doing such type of
good point.
solidarity occasion. By performing this occasion, they will say that we are the innocent, we are against the terrorist act. To prove that they are doing such type of attitude, which they have been doing since last 2 years. Then they are trying to hide, they are trying to prove themselves as innocent, and they are the law-abiding citizen of India under the Constitution of India. So it is their duties, what we are assuming that, and we are making many proclamation against them.
Okay.
So what we are trying to say that their type of activities and their working style and performance during the violence and are all the act of terrorists. It should not be denied by any person. They are doing terrorist activities since the last 2 years in our state Manipur. The government of India is not taking up any action against them. We are demanding to the government of India to do the military crackdown against them, those who are violating the rights and those who are acting the terrorist activities in our state Manipur. But the government of India is still silent. And what do we mean that silent gives consent? So that's why their activities and showing their solidarity to the terror attack in Pahalgam and any other occasion also, this is completely baseless and fabricated one. And it is, this is the mockery type of expression from their side. We have been denying such type of activities, such type of expressions, such type of solidarity to the humanity. This is also being denied by us. So let me conclude here. The time is also is over right now. And we don't expect from the side of government of India to prevent and prevent the terrorist act in our state and to protect the innocent people of Manipur, especially in the valley area, and they are tied with terrorist group. We can say since the 2005 they have been signing one agreement, that is suspension of operation with the terrorists coming from Myanmar. They are not Indian. They are coming from India. They are not from the Indian soil. They are from the Burma, that is the Myanmar, they have been signing with the agreement. The terrorists was not attacking any Indian army. That is against the Indian government. They have not doing any things. But they are doing their many illegal activities in our state, Manipur, by destructing mass forests and planting poppy. Then many other destruction has been doing in our state, Manipur, since the last many years, since 1950s and 1960, like this. They have been destroying all the historical facts of Manipur also. They have been demolished all the historical site, monuments like that. So they are doing many terrorist acts, but the government of India is still looking silent. They are watching only just like the spectators. We don't have any expectation from the government of India and from the Kuki militants also. So lastly, I want to say again that the government of India has to have a serious view to in respect of these Kuki militants, their terror attacks, terrorist acts in our state, Manipur. Without this prevention or precaution measure has been taken up by the government of India, the people, as our brother Sonamani said already, we are feeling that we are not Indian. We are not Indian citizens. Right?
And moreover,
So
not feeling safe in our own country.
It will feel many separate movement from the mainland India, then India annexed Manipur, just like is also said by the all the peoples of Manipur, all the peoples of northern India, we know. So we have been struggling for restoring our peace, freedom from the India. So this is the legally accepted movement under the Human Rights Charter and Human Rights Declaration of the United Nations. But all these insurgent group, that the Revolutionary Party or belly-based organization, they are being declared as terrorist group under Unlawful Activities Prevention Act by the Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India.
Right.
On the other hand, more than 49 terrorist groups operating in the hilly areas of Manipur, they are not being declared by the Government of India as terrorist organization since many decades. They are helping to fight against other communities. They are supplying their logistic support and then many other supporting materials. They are providing them to escalate the terrorist activities in our state, Manipur. Let me conclude here. I don't want to say anymore because we don't have any trust to the government of India and to protect us and to protect the life and property of our civilian in our state, Manipur. It is very unlucky being a citizen of India. Let me conclude.
Yes, Oja Korouhanba, I think you mentioned a very important point regarding military crackdown. I think I agree with you there, because we have been seeking military crackdown against those narco-terrorists. Well, just terrorists. Let's not define them by any other hyphenated words, because what they are doing is just pure terrorist activities. Now, why are military actions being reserved when it comes to them? I will take this question to our third speaker, Oja Shantikumar, as our last segment for tonight's episode. Oja Shantikumar, the thing is that when it comes to a terrorist activity in Kashmir, the first prompt action is usually and always military crackdown and military actions, and even now in Pahalgam there have been many bombings and raids going on to try and identify and seek and destroy all of those terrorists who are still hiding in Kashmir, if they are hiding in Kashmir. The question is, we have had 60,000 plus boots on the ground in Manipur since the last 2 years. What have they been doing? The thing is, why have there been no military crackdown, military action regarding those who are perpetrating such violence inside of Manipur against the civilian population? But the thing is that there is again still distinction regarding the responses from the government, and even when it comes to using their security forces. But whenever it comes to the Northeast, or just in this context in Manipur crisis, the first rule or the first step of whatever steps that they have taken up is negotiation, is peace talks, is trying to appease, trying to sympathize both sides. Why is that? Why is that happening when the form of terrorist activity is just the same? Shantikumar, your thoughts as the last segment for today's program.
Yeah, we can understand, we can see both sides. The militaries are heavily deployed,
yes,
in the west as well as in the east in Manipur.
Mm-hmm.
But the question is how these military forces personnel are used. In the west, they used to destroy the separatist movement. They used those to destroy those terrorists and to root out them. But whereas in the east, especially in Manipur, those more than 60,000 central forces are used just to bifurcate between the valley and the hills, especially the Meiteis and the Kukizo communities. And then they like to create this divide, and then this is number one. And number two, they use these central forces not only to bifurcate, to divide these two communities, hill and valleys, but also to destroy the valley-based armed groups.
Okay.
Number two. And number three, they also use some of these central forces to support the Kukizo terrorists. This we have proof. A lot of proof have been seen already in social media and also in the news. This cannot be denied. We have proof. And so that's why they can move these two groups, and then these terrorists from Myanmar can move so freely. They can come to Manipur crossing the international border. And whenever they need to go back, they can go to Myanmar so easily. That means there is full support from the central forces. If Indian forces like to stop this, it's a piece of cake. But they don't like to do it. So they allow them to move freely. And number four, Indian government likes to appease these separatists or this rebel group in the western side of Myanmar, and those Kukizo militants who are linked with these rebels. They like to appease them. Why? Because central government actually sacrificed we Meitei people or the other indigenous people altogether for the benefits of India, some Eastern business. So to appease these groups of people and these communities in the western side of Myanmar and these Kukizo militants, India sacrificed us. And these four factors are the main reasons why, even though they deploy more than 60,000 central forces, nothing has been done. It's actually getting worse, except no fighting. You see here, national highways is the properties of central government. And just two highways, and they're very short compared to other states, you know. But even this, as they promised, as the central government promised, they cannot open, they cannot let people move freely. And another one, even we people, we Meitei people, we cannot worship even our faith. We cannot move freely. Now, all this together, India is doing knowingly. And I think that's why, and I repeat again, that's why I think it's time for we Meitei, and all the other indigenous people of Manipur, except those looking for union territory or separate states. We should be united, and we should stand on our feet and go for pre-merger. And we should protect ourselves. We cannot rely to the central forces. We cannot rely to Indian government. We have no trust. We don't have any confidence. We lost everything. So I think these are the only two options. And I hope our CSOs can think over what to do of these 2 points. One is stand our own feet and protect ourselves. And number two, we go for pre-merger status. Amrita, I will put this one.
Yes, indeed. Oja, thank you for your points. As we've come to the end of today's program with the topic, their terrorists versus our terrorists, speakers have put forward many different points regarding, especially highlighting and exposing the differential treatment from the Indian government when it comes to the terrorist activity in Kashmir and the terrorist activity that's being carried out non-stop for 2 years in Manipur. We know that some of this could have been done within just a few days or a week by using their heavy military actions or even enforcing some of the legislations already existing within the Indian constitution as well. But as our speakers have mentioned, that the people of Manipur really now deeply distrust the actions taken by the central government regarding the treatment of the terrorists who are causing such a crisis in Manipur, and also how this is contrasted by their actions when it comes to the terrorists in Kashmir. But there's a lot of points that have also been raised regarding how this can be remedied, and some of it is, as our speaker our dear speaker Shantikumar has also said, that there is now only two options. Either one is just to take decisions on our own by standing on our feet, and other is to go back to the pre-merger status, because we no longer feel safe in the Indian country, Indian Union. With that note, I would like to end today's program. And I would like to thank our speakers, Pabung P. Sonamani, Oja M. Advocate Korouhanba, and Oja Dr. N.U. Shantikumar for joining us and being with us for this episode. Thank you all once again. Thank you, and I would like to thank our viewers for tuning in tonight. We will be back again tomorrow with more exciting topics. Please keep watching Elite TV Elite TV programs, Open Debate, and our news broadcast as well. For today, this is your host Chongtham Amrita signing off. Have a good night.